Welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
What are we doing today?
Today we're going to talk with you about what frugal isn't.
Okay, let's get to it.
All right, so the first one is, or isn't, frugal isn't cheap. Now, we've said that in several videos before. There's a little confusion out there where people feel like frugal people are buying the cheapest thing out there, no matter what it is, as long as it's the lowest price tag on it. But that's not necessarily true. Frugal people look at the quality of a product and then they determine if it has longevity. If something cheap breaks every 3 months and they have to buy 4 in a year, they're probably not going to buy it if they can buy something for a couple of dollars more and it lasts for 3 years. They're going to waste money if they have to buy it every 3 months. So they look at the longevity reviews, they check things to make sure it's a good value for their money, not just the cheapest priced thing.
Okay. All right. Number 2 is that frugality isn't just for poor people. Now, that's what we think a lot of times, is that if you're frugal, then you don't have a lot of money. And that's not always the case. I read a quote the other day by somebody, I forgot who it was now, said that most millionaires drive, the average age of their car is 4 years old. So they're not buying the best of everything, but they're buying, as we talked about just a minute ago, we talked about quality and longevity. And so they're buying things that are going to last them a long time. So it's not just for poor people, but it is for people who want to save money. So one of the reasons rich people get rich is because they are frugal. They save, and they save up for what's coming ahead. And so they save up their money and they don't spend it on frivolous things.
All right, and the third one is frugal isn't restrictive. Now, ironically, he just said that about frivolous things, but you're really saving your money for things that matter to you.
Yep.
So you don't buy things or whatever for just because everybody else buys it. You look at what's the value of it for you in your life right now. Are you really willing to spend money on it? And do you think that you're really going to use it for the rest of your life? We often do things that some people might think isn't frugal, like spending a decent amount of money on a pair of shoes that we know will benefit us long term, but we're willing to do it because we know that if we prepare and we research and we have the quality is there and it lasts us a long time and it protects our feet, then it's worth the extra price for those shoes. So restrictive doesn't mean that you can't ever do anything with your money. It just means that you look for it and you research and you do a good job finding good quality products. Again, like we talked about with, is it cheap?
All right. The fourth thing that frugal isn't is that it isn't a competition. We've always said that comparison is the thief of joy. And if you're comparing yourself to somebody else, the way they do frugality, you may come up on the short end and not think yourself as good as somebody else. And that's never the case. We all do frugality in different ways. And because of that, we can give each other tips, we can give each other ideas, we can give each other all of these things that can help out the community because we're all in it together. So frugality isn't a competition. Don't be comparing yourself to other people. Do frugality your way and save money your way, and you'll be the best person that you can be.
That's right. Hey, and if you've taken the steps to learn to become frugal, then you're going in the right direction. So don't worry if it's taking you time. It took us years.
You've already won the competition. And believe me, I'm a competitive person by nature. If we're on a treadmill side by side, we are racing. But what I realize is that frugality is not a competition. We're all in this together, doing it together.
That's right. Now, our final one is going to kind of piggyback off of the idea of competition, but it's a little in a different viewpoint. And that one is, the fifth one is, frugal isn't a weapon. So here's the thing. We've seen this on comments under YouTube videos, not our own specifically. We've seen it on some, but on some of other YouTubers' videos, as well as Instagram posts of our own and others. And that is where it seems like someone comes out of the woodwork just to let you know that they're more frugal than you. That their favorite words might begin with, "You shouldn't have spent money on that," or "I would never spend money on that." And the thing is, you know, if you're structuring the sentence in a way that you're saying, "Have you thought about this? Maybe this would work for you," or something like that, in a gentle, calm way where you're like trying to encourage them with a tip, that's one thing. But if you're coming in there to let them know that they are wasting money and that you would never waste money on that, then you're using frugality as a weapon against somebody else. There's a phrase that we use, and it's kind of goes like this. Why do you have to tear someone else down just to lift yourself up? If what you're doing is literally going into comments of frugal channels and Instagram accounts, commenting on it just to make yourself feel better about your own frugality, then you might want to look at yourself and ask, why do you need to do that? Why do you feel the need to bring someone else down just to lift yourself up? So that is it. Just that. Just please remember that for all my fellow YouTubers and Instagram accounts that are doing their best, just showing their life and what they're learning. Please, for their sakes, remember, frugality isn't a weapon.
All right, so drop us a comment below and let us know if some tips you have for being frugal, what frugal isn't. Let us know some tips, some things we may have missed, some things that you'd like us to know, or anything like that. Just drop us those comments below. We'd love to hear those as well.
Yep.
Love to share those with our community too.
Yep.
So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell for updates when we upload new videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes on the weekend, sometimes in between. You just kind of never know. We're going to drop one in there. But that's going to do it today for the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
Don't forget the long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.